Hi, guys. Oh, you look like you're hiding behind a water cooler. Welcome to Tuesday night and our special Tuesday night meeting of our guest speaker. And for those of you that are new to Team Wicks Away, welcome. And I'm so glad you're already joining us on our Tuesday night meetings. Tonight works a little bit different than the other weeks in that this will be up for you guys to watch ahead of time, hopefully. And then usually our guest speaker is with us live to answer questions in the group for that hour. Now, Christina's an hour behind us, and single moms it at night like me. So she's not going to be able to join us right at 8:30, but that's okay because I'll still be there and your other directors. And we'll chat about your aha moments from this interview, and you can kind of have time to prep any questions you want so that when she can join us, they're all waiting for her ready to go. Does that sound good for you? Yay. So, Christina, thank you so much. This is Christina Stainbrook. I'm sure lots of you have heard her name. I've definitely had my life saved. In fact, I think those were her words. I went to her breakout in Las Vegas last year where she said, write these words down, I'm going to save your life. And that was the Buffer app and the If This Then That app. And I've run some of these meetings through my Buffer app. So anyway, Christine, I said my own name, is going to introduce herself and tell a little bit of her story, and then we'll see what we end up chatting about.
Hello. Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Not like
yeah.
echoey or weird. Awesome. So, like you said, I'm Christina Stainbrook. I'm nobody. Don't act like I'm anybody. I'm just me. I have not showered today. I'm in my jammies. This is just how I roll. This is why I love Scentsy. I am a mom of two. I just had one about 5 months ago, so she's sleeping right now. So we're kind of squeaking in this little video while she's sleeping. She's got a bad cold, and then tonight I'm like, I don't know if she'll be sleeping or not, so I don't know what time I'll jump on. So thanks for bearing with me and doing this kind of a little bit crazy today. Yay! So I'm gonna tell you a little about my story. I'm gonna try to keep it quick. I get really passionate about talking about Scentsy. If any of you have been around long enough, you know that you do it too. You say Scentsy, and then 7 hours later, you maybe got to your point. So I've been doing this for almost 5 years. My 5-year is in November. I was bored one day. My friend posted her link on Facebook. She's like, hey, I just joined this Scentsy thing. If you want to join too, here's my link. I was literally sitting on my couch watching Netflix. And I was like, sure, why not? So I joined. Literally didn't know anything about it. I was the dream recruit, right? Don't you wish that somebody would just click your link and join for no reason? That was Christina Stainbrook, and that was me. So I joined for no reason. I was bored. But I get pretty excited about new hobbies and things like that. So the second I signed up, I Googled Scentsy and tried to learn everything I could about it. I immediately Googled who owned it and started watching everything I could to help me get familiar with them. I'm a very personable person. I like to feel connected to the people I work for. I've never worked very well in corporate America because I don't have connection to who I'm working for. And I really strive on connection. I used to work for Chick-fil-A, and I was connected. Dan Cathy, the owner dude of Chick-fil-A, knew me. I talked to True on the phone, so it was really personal for me. My goal was always.
We don't have Chick-fil-A, so thank you for clarifying who those people were.
Google Chick-fil-A like I Googled Scentsy and go figure that one out. It's great.
Yeah.
So I loved it. So I've always tried to work on getting connected to whoever it was I was working for. So I kind of feel like that might have been why I kind of took off with Scentsy. I didn't really mean to get that connected. I just wanted a hobby. I crafted a lot on the side, and I was just looking for something I didn't have to make myself but could still sell. I was sick of crafting for like 30 hours and selling it for $5. It's just not worth it. I mean, I had a kid. I had a job that I was working 70 to 80 hours a week, and I just needed some extra cash flow, but I couldn't take the time to make stuff and then try to sell it for way less than what I knew I was worth. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, this is a way to kind of sell something that doesn't determine my hour's value. I can just sell as much as I want in an hour and make as much as I want in an hour.
Right.
So I just was like, all right, let's try this, see where this takes us. And my starter kit came, and I fell in love with the fragrances. I honestly, my business took off. I didn't know anything about parties or anything like that. I just started saying, hey, I literally called my best friends and I was like, oh my gosh, my starter kit just got here. Bring a movie and a pizza over. I want to show you guys this stuff. And they came over. They didn't think I was trying to sell them anything. They were just like, that's so cool. I want to smell stuff. So I was just excited about it. They all loved it. They all placed orders. I made my dad come over and smell it all, and he loved it, and he bought a bunch for his house. And it was literally just, I was just telling people about how excited I was, because it smelled good. It just smells good, guys. If you smell it, it smells good. And that was so easy for me to just say, hey guys, come smell it. It smells good, right? And I didn't have an angle. I didn't have an approach. I didn't have a sales, and I didn't freak out about how I was going to tell people. It was just like, hey, it smells good. Get over here and smell it. So I just was going to do it kind of hobby style until I met another director named Jackie Jones. I was not a director. I had just signed up. But my friend who I had signed up under, she quit 2 weeks after because Scentsy could not move an order to an open party. Her friend ordered, didn't click party. She couldn't get it moved. She quit Scentsy. She called them, turned off her account right away. Wow. So I rolled up to her mother-in-law, who was just kind of a hobbyist. She ended up quitting, and I rolled up. I've rolled up about 5 times.
I was going to ask you who your sponsor was, so that would be why nobody knows.
Yep, my sponsor is now Gina Nelson Anderson. So I'm under, I've rolled up so many times that I'm now getting closer to the very end of the line. I'm only about 4 away from Colette Gunnell.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
You're rolling all the way to Colette.
Exactly. So I've been.
For those that don't know, I'll just clarify. Colette is one of the inventors of Scentsy in the original business before Heidi and Orville bought it. So. Yeah.
So I'm just rolling on up. Nobody wants me. So but I met a director. I was looking for support because I didn't know enough about Scentsy to keep it going. I mean, all I was doing was saying, hey, come over here and smell my stuff. And I was like, I love this, but I want to make sure that I'm getting the most out of it. So I kind of reached out. I Googled Scentsy or on Facebook, or if you can Google on Facebook, and I found a Scentsy group. I just joined the first Scentsy group I saw. And
sorry, Christina, 1 second. Boys, I'm doing the interview and it's recording. So you can't be in here. Noah?
Jacob and Kaden pulled down this side of my shorts, then Jacob did this side.
Okay, then no more going on the trampoline with them. You and Braden go play at his house or basketball until I'm done.
Oh, DM is going.
Outside, guys. Till I'm done.
Oh,
sorry about that. Yeah,
sorry,
that has to be what he needs to tell me, right?
Boys, I swear, they're all the same.
And literally, all the kids on my trampoline right now are boys. So.
I love it.
Anyway, sorry about that.
So, yeah, no, you're fine. So I went on Facebook, I searched Scentsy, and I found some random Scentsy group that I joined. And I was like, hey, I just need a friend. I just want someone to talk to about Scentsy, someone who's been doing it for a little bit.
Because she's just random? Like, sorry.
Yeah, the person, I joined a random Scentsy group.
Oh, okay.
That I just went on Facebook and I searched Scentsy and just joined the first group I saw.
Cool.
And I was like, hey, my sponsor quit. Her sponsor quit. I just need some help. I didn't know if I could I just want to connect with someone. I don't really need you to train me. I just want to be like, hey, let's talk about Scentsy. I didn't know anyone else who sold it. So I just wanted to connect with somebody. And she was like, hey, how about I ask my director if I can add you to our team page? So I got added to Jackie Jones's team page. And you may or may not know who she is. She's pretty cool. She took me in. We ended up becoming connected. I don't actually remember who added me to her page. I just became friends with Jackie, and I kind of realized, oh my gosh, so director, that means you've made it to this point on the comp plan. And I asked her some questions about what that means for her life and what that looks like for her. And she got to stay home with her kids, and her husband was military. And I was like, back up. You get to stay home with your kids, and all you do is make people smell stuff. I could do that. And so that was immediately when I decided I wanted to make Scentsy more than just having people come over and smell stuff. So I just worked every single day, started asking my friends to join my team. They've already smelled it. You should join. All you got to do is have people smell stuff. And it was pretty easy. it actually started happening that way in kind of a weird point in my life. My dad was very sick when I started Sensi. He had cancer, and the week I recruited my first 5 team members, I did it in the hospital
In 1 week.
while I was waiting on him to pass away. So he passed away February 17th, and I recruited my first 5 people between the 14th and the 17th of that year. So about 5 or 6 months after I started, after I had those 5 people join my team, and I was like, hey guys, I have no idea what I'm doing, so let's just do this together. If you learn something new, bring it to me, post it on our team page. I created that right away just because we had no connection any other way. I didn't even think, oh, people make team pages. I just did it to keep us all together. And I was like, if you learned something, share it with us. If I learned something, I'll share it with you. Just share videos you find. Let us know how it's going. And we just all kind of connected. And they didn't care that I didn't know what I was doing. They didn't care at all. They just really liked to be part of my story and to be part of this making people smell stuff thing. It was really funny because about 6 months in, we all learned that there were monthly specials and realized that we had missed a Christmas flyer. So I didn't know a thing when I started recruiting. I didn't know anything. I didn't feel like I had to know anything. I just felt like, I have a catalog. I've got some testers. Let's just see where this takes us. So I think that people make this too hard on themselves, or they overcomplicate things. And my story started so simple. And I still try to keep things really simple. A lot of people are like, well, what do you do with this? Where do you get this? Where do you get this? And I'm like, I get everything from the family store as often as possible. I don't do anything fancy. I don't make anything.
You wanted to stop crafting, remember?
I stopped crafting. I do love to craft. And anyone who knows me knows I'm super creative. I love to, do that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, no, after 9 months, I was a director because they just started recruiting the same way I did. I was like, hey, it's just smelling stuff. You get to make a little money. What's up? Keeping it super simple. None of them felt like they were donating blood or vital organs to me. So I didn't overcomplicate the join message. I didn't even know what I was doing as I was recruiting people. It was just, I didn't see why it was hard. I was like, let's just do this together. Let's hang out. Like, it's kind of like a little secret club, but we have things that smell good and we get to make money doing it. So, just keeping it super simple was how I grew my team. And I hit director about 9 or 10 months, somewhere in there. And the rest was just history. So
9 or 10 months after you started recruiting? Or
no, 10 months after I joined. Yeah, so I started recruiting 5 months after I joined, hit director 5 months after I started recruiting.
Okay, yeah, no, because that's important because there's lots of those stories. I remember the people that I sought out because I'm a lot like you in that I was Googling and wanting to connect. And if you joined 5 years ago, the forum would have still been around, I'm guessing. But when I joined almost 6 years ago, there wasn't a lot on Facebook yet. And I remember talking to my sponsor,
I spent a little time
have a Facebook group.
The forum was still friendly back then.
Yeah.
So I remember one time I was having trouble right when I first started because I had no idea what I was doing, and our workstation was not nearly as intuitive back then.
No.
I was struggling putting in an order. A lady on the forum was like, hey, I'm free. I'll call you. I wish to this day I had any idea who that lady was because I wish I could send her something. She helped me put in my very first Sensi order. She got nothing off of me. I don't even know who she was. It breaks my heart that I can't just go like.
You're so connected now. You could just put out. I'm sure she knows. I started Christina Stainbrook.
Yeah, you know what? She may not though. If she was genuinely just doing it out of the kindness of her heart, she may not even remember what my name was.
What your name was either. Oh, that's true. But but that's so true. Like the forum is. There was a lot of negativity around the forum, and I certainly had my days where I would go to my sponsor and be like sucked into it, and she would just be like, stay off. And so with my first recruits, I would say, there's this forum, take everything, like I would pre-warn them, right? Because I think Facebook has the same issue. You get a community of people together online, and that stuff's going to happen. But I loved the way the forum was separated out by what you wanted to learn about
the topics.
And but it was also my first introduction to this broader Sensi community that helped everybody, no matter what, like the combining group or
that's where the first order lady was
in the combining group. Yeah, no, there was some big helpers in there, and I can't remember their names either. But also like the I want to do fundraisers, so let's go search. And I find it hard on my Facebook group to sort that all for people, like to search by type. I mean, our resources, or it's not our resources tab anymore, but that's getting better. But anyway, no, I was just the that was a big part for me too, to see this community, and I always, as a leader, want to find a way to bring that back for the newer people somehow. Like,
that's why I work so hard on giving back, and I try to make videos. And
I was going to ask you what led to the YouTube part of your business.
What?
I was going to ask you what led to starting YouTube. Like, what was the...
it was just, I didn't even really understand the heart of Scentsy, but I knew that because people had reached out and, you know, without batting eyelashes, had helped me along the way. I didn't have an upline, which I never really considered a problem. I just thought that was kind of normal. Like, I thought we just all kind of just did it side by side. I never really realized, like, I didn't care much about that I didn't have an upline. And then once I kind of learned the implications of that, I was like, oh, well, you know, and here's how I'm going to segue here, because people always ask me about why I didn't try to change teams, or why I didn't, you know, throw a stink about not having an upline that supported me. Because here's how I look at it. They may have become big in Scentsy or gotten to director or something like that, but didn't mean to. I like to think that, you know, maybe they just signed up at a time where things were just, the catalyst was there. It was just growing and growing, and they didn't really intend to take a leadership role, but they, you know, or they used to, and it wasn't really, they weren't ready to let it go. And I just kept telling myself that I was helping them. They may not be that into it, but maybe what I was doing with my business was blessing them in some way. And I don't need someone to give me for me to bless them. Like, I don't have to, like, they don't owe me anything. They just don't. Nobody owes anybody anything. So I just kept telling myself every time I got paid that I hope that whatever they made off of me helped their family or changed their story in some way. Or maybe their kid was trying to sign up for football and couldn't afford it. Maybe I got to help their kid do football. I didn't know anything about the people ahead of me. I'd never talked to any of them. So I usually just prayed every paycheck that I was helping them in some way, and that that everything I did was a drop in their bucket. So it's all about perspective. So if you have a crappy upline, please don't think that they owe you anything. We have such a great Scentsy community. Even if they're not a very nice person and you're kind of bummed about that, just pray for them, or, you know, kill them with kindness, whatever your angle is there. Just, who cares? Your Scentsy business is about you. And it's about what you can do for other people, not what about other people can do for you. So how did I get to YouTube? Same way. People seriously reached out and helped me start my business, who made nothing off of me. They never, you know, they never asked for anything in return. They weren't trying to gain popularity points. They weren't trying to get shining star. They weren't, there was no angle to their kindness. It was purely just, hey, we're all in this together. How can I help you? And so I was like, you know what? I can make videos. I can make videos as I learn things. So I started making just silly little videos and putting them on YouTube. I was like, well, that way, if, you know, somebody doesn't have an upline and they stumble across it, maybe it helps them in some way.
So it had nothing to do with growing your business through YouTube?
Nope. I just did it because people had helped me so much. I was like, well, this is something I could do to help others. So I'm just going to put this out there. And
that's awesome.
Slowly but surely, you know, I've met so many people through YouTube. I think that YouTube is 100% the only reason anybody has any idea who I am. I didn't think that would ever happen. That's why I still feel so weird about it when people are like, Christina, I'm like, I don't understand that. Like, I just literally just had fun making videos for you guys. I just hope you're learning something. I don't want you to know who I am. I should just like block out my face and make videos anonymously so that you guys can learn things.
Like the toy demonstrators that you just see their hands.
Exactly. I was like, that's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna go from the other angle of the camera. So everyone's always like, oh, it's Christina. And anyone who knows me knows how weird it is for me, for people to know my name or come up to me. I like meeting new people, so it's got its own perks and stuff. I love meeting new people and getting to know other consultants and helping them and things like that. It just definitely went a direction I had never thought it would go when I first made my videos.
But that to me is a true sign of, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but I'm going to say it for everybody that's listening and watching. That's a true sign of why you're so successful in Scentsy and why you're a superstar director now, I think, because you embody that mission, or whatever our 3 value statement. I'm like, which one are they? Mission or values? Of authenticity and generosity and simplicity, all 3 of them. Like, listening to you now and what I know of you already and how I felt about things at different times. Now, I didn't jump on to YouTube and think, oh, I can just do videos for everyone, but I agree. Like, you're genuine about it. It has nothing to do with your own fame, and so people feel that. People can tell, and that's why they're drawn to you. So Scentsie's very lucky to have you, and I'm so excited that you came to talk to our group. And oh, I'm being interrupted again. And they're moving.
But that's why we do what we
Well,
do.
that too, right? That's what it was so funny about this. It was like, okay, I just showered, I gotta put my eyebrows on. You're like, I gotta put the baby back to sleep, and we're working, we're doing it. It's still summer for. That's why I was asking about back to school, because we get out at the end of June here, and so my kids don't go back till September 8th, the day I leave to head to Alberta first, and then Boise for Summit. So we have a whole other summer of the incentive trip period where we're dealing with kids at home, right? So everybody works it how you do it. And one other thing that stood out for me when you were talking was how you said about maybe, praying about maybe I'm blessing my upline, and what stood out was you're using the same attitude about downline as you do for upline. It just, there's no direction for you. It doesn't, like you said, I thought we all work side by side. How you help your downline is exactly how you look at, what I'm blessing. I can bless a downline's life by showing them this business, and the work I do can be blessing an upline's life. And I completely agree with you, and I think it's important for people to hear that message. So I'm really glad you brought it up about people falling into a leadership role and not necessarily having the skills yet or wanting it. Because I think that's the biggest roadblock for people that feel like they have issues, because they do feel that entitlement. And if they step back or put themselves in their shoes, we're learning as we go, and some of us are natural born leaders, some of us are natural born video makers, some of us are crafty. Like, we all have our talents, and I think that's the biggest reason the Scentsy culture, to me, finds so much success for all types, because we help each other.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah. I just figured, where was I going? I knew that when I started recruiting, I didn't have it all together. I didn't know what I was doing. We were just kind of learning as we went. And I just kind of was like, what if that's what my upline's doing? I don't know how long they've been doing this. What if they signed up just a few days before I did? And it just kind of grew really weirdly, quickly. And I was like, I just don't know. I have no idea. So, and I was always like, my goal was always to someday meet the people in my upline, whether by accident or, whatever. Because I had, never really talked to any of them. They never really reached out to me, and I never tried to take that bad. I think there was a point in my business where I felt some bitterness about it, and that's where I had to meet that bitterness with perspective. I had to be like, I don't know them, so how can I possibly feel that way about them if I don't know a thing about them? So I just kind of had to turn it around. And so my goal became, how can I beat them, and how can I, because I was like, maybe I can promote enough to where they're not even showing on my workstation, or they don't make money off of me. And I was like, no, that's not the right perspective. So my goal is I want to meet them. I want to run into them at a Scentsy event. And I just want to thank them for joining Scentsy, because if they hadn't ever spent $99, the person below them would never have done it. The person below them would have never have done it. And my sponsor would have never have done it. She would have never shared that link randomly. And then my life wouldn't look like it does today. So no matter what they do for me, they did one important thing for me, and they joined. That's all I wanted out of them. That's all I needed out of them. They said yes to the opportunity. I don't know how long ago, and I'm thankful for that, because it means I got to say yes to the opportunity. So I just was like, okay, so my goal is just to meet them. And then I did meet somebody in my upline, and I actually mentor her now. She was my star director. I was a director. And I actually get to help her learn more about her business. Her business kind of got away from her as younger people started joining. She didn't know how to connect with millennials. She didn't know how to connect with people who were fresh out of college. She's not an older woman, but she's, she could maybe be,
careful.
She's maybe my mom's age. She could be my mom. So it was just one of those things where I feel like maybe she felt disconnected from the community that Scentsy was, not because it wasn't a loving community, but because it wasn't her age. And it didn't look like it did when she joined back when Scentsy started. I think she's been in almost 10 years now. And I think it just kind of got away from her. It didn't look the same.
Yeah.
So I got to get to know her. And if I had just had the bitterness up and the blinders on about how she had never helped me and never reached down to me, and I was, never reached out to see how I was doing, I would have never known this person, and she's a wonderful person. You know, she didn't do it because she was being lazy or was trying to make money off of me. But no, it was really funny. I had just been praying about the situation and hoping that I could meet her or connect with her. And one day she messaged me and she's like, I just need to know how you do it. She goes, I've been watching you for years. She goes, I just want to know how you do it. I want to be like you. I want to learn from you. And so just kind of funny that somebody that was, you know, titles above me wanted to see what I was doing, because she was missing something in her own business that she didn't know she was missing until I came along. So
that's amazing. And actually, that was the other thing popping out when you were talking earlier, is I was hearing all the millennial examples in your business when you were talking, because that training we just had for the star directors and superstar directors from Vanderbilt, all about millennials. Like, I'm technically a millennial, but I'm in the first 2 years of it. So I call myself a cusper because I don't know enough and I struggle, but I have those traits. So it was really, really interesting for me to hear them talk about these are the millennial traits and these are their strengths, and this is how they actually see working. And that stuff about social media is a big part of it, but when you were talking about connecting, that you need to feel connected to your business, and that's a huge millennial trait. And I have that trait, you know, but I don't necessarily know social media to the same extent. But my sisters, who haven't joined Cincy, and I haven't given up, but I doubt they ever will, they're 8 and 6 years older than me, so they're not millennials, but only that 8-year difference, because
it's a huge difference.
I grew up in the generation where computers, like, my school years started with the Mac 2s, the gigantic floppy disk computers, to my high school years with learning Microsoft Word and website development. I'm still doing my interview. Hi. I have to respond when he says hi.
Yeah, our first computer was the black screen, green text. Like,
yeah, exactly. So my sisters they weren't still young when the internet was so big. And so they're on Facebook, and, you know, they share the odd, my one sister is a vice principal, so she shares a lot of stuff about education.
Who are you talking to?
This is Christina. She's another Sensi Superstar Director. She's talking to my team. We're recording for my team. Okay? Say hi, team.
Hi, team. I go play my DS.
Yeah, yes.
Yay!
Electronics. I'll let him he did a lot of time outside. And the other one, you know, she shares her kids' sports, but they used to not judge me, but they used to comment about how much I put on Facebook of my life when Facebook was new. And I was entering the share your ultrasound picture stage, and, you know, complain that I couldn't find a midwife in Saskatchewan. And it's neat to see them grasping it now, and my mom on Facebook. But anyway, I just wanted to say that training was so huge for me, and it is helping me understand you guys that are so good with YouTube and social media and stuff, and where we can learn from you. And I think that it's great that you guys take that gift and share it instead of running with it like, this is our world now.
This is my competitive edge. Let me run
right. Well, because that's how people think millennials are, right? Like, screw the rest of you, this is our world and we're taking it over. And that's not true, and it's not true in the Sensi world either. So that's really cool. I bet you people will have questions about that tonight as well.
I will be on as soon as I can, so.
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah. No, and I mean, sometimes they're pretty quiet and they can't think of questions, because we were talking before we started the recording that we have a lot of new people in our groups because of the huge growth in the beginning of the year. And so I went through phases in my business of figuring out what worked best, because, I did the older style, the team meeting in my house every month, and it went awesome for a while. But then as the team grew and gathered more online-type people, that changed, and less were coming. And so we just started this year. So a lot of our people that come on Tuesdays are the newer people. So it's fun because they're having those moments of, this may be the first time they've heard your name. And I know those moments were huge for us. And I was going to say that to you too. Like, think about the first time you met one of your idols. I know that it feels weird when they meet you and they're like, "Oh, I love you, thank you so much." But we did the same thing with
mine were are still Allison Dalkey and Jacqueline Roy.
Yes, and you've met them.
I saw their videos.
Yes.
Yes.
Jacqueline Roy
I
was.
get to call them friends now.
Yes,
so.
exactly. Oh, I was going to say something, but that's true because you've been pretty connected. But I found my first summit was huge. I'd met Jacqueline before, but going to my first summit where you literally sit in the lobby of the hotel in your pajamas with these people that are just like us and chat about their challenges in their business, it's a pretty amazing experience, and it does humble you. And what?
I said I'm excited about that.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. I'm excited for baby cuddles. I told you to let me have some baby cuddles.
She's super snuggly.
That's the best kind. So yeah, I guess if you do have anything else that you wanted to share, I'm thinking I need to come up with like this one question that I ask every guest speaker, like what is your not dream place, but what is your biggest dream, your biggest why now at this stage in your journey? Like now that you really understand how Scentsy is a career for you, what's your long-term huge dream that you still shoot for?
I want my husband and I both to stay home. So, yep. I get to be home with my babies now. I don't work 60 to 70 hours a week anymore. I worked my business till it was full time and I got to quit. So I was the actual like breadwinner of the family. So it's really cool that Scentsy gets to replace that and I get to be a mom. I get to be home and I get to, meetings with my couch looking like this.
I love that picture this morning.
Setups. I'm sitting on the only corner of the couch that's free. But my goal is to get my husband home. So I want to get my husband home.
And he helps with the business. I've seen him on some of your videos.
Yeah, he does as much as he can. If he was home, he'd do more.
So he's all in, basically.
He loves Scentsy. He loves Scentsy merely out of an appreciation for what it's done for our family. So,
which is
not
awesome.
because he's been in it and knows the day to day, and he doesn't really know a whole lot about what I do every day with it. He just knows, hey, the paychecks keep coming, so keep it up, whatever you're doing. But he does like to help as often as possible. He loves going live. He loves live streaming. He loves making videos. So we do have that in common, at least. So.
That is good because they do say like that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But when you do involve a spouse, they say to let them find what they like doing instead of just being your assistant. Because when it happens that way, where we're the one that gets into it first, it can feel like that if we're just like, well, I need you to do this, this, and this. Because there is a lot that a lot of men have found, or our spouses have found how to work together and who does what best. So I'm excited for you guys when you reach that.
Thanks.
We'll be watching. All right. Well, thank you, and we will see you tonight as soon as
welcome.
You're there. And yeah, everybody, prepare your questions because I hope you really liked our video. Bye. I'm just gonna stop.
Bye.